So the other day, I got a comment asking if I could do a video on 10 warm weather date night fragrances. And it's a great suggestion, because when you think about it, when it comes to date night fragrances, a lot of them, of course, are generally going to trend in the warm, spicy, and sweet direction, which makes sense. And a lot of times, warm, spicy, and sweet fragrances are more intended for the fall and winter, or the cooler weather. So really what I was doing here was I was going through and picking out some kind of sweeter fragrances that are great, very sexy for a date night, but they also still have, I don't know, a little bit of a fresh balance. They still kind of tie things back together to some extent. But the main goal was to still keep them warm and inviting and sexy for a date night. And so I got that comment, and I'm like, well, I'm Chaos Fragrances. Of course I can make a list on that. I have a list on hopefully just about as many different topics as you can think of. Well, maybe not yet, but we're working there, right? 1,000 plus videos in the bag. And here's yet another one, because I don't know for sure if I've done this yet. Maybe I have, maybe I haven't. Maybe you can do some research on that. But here's one anyway. Let's get into it. So we're going to start off with MANCERA CEDRAT. I know, CEDRAT, I'm sorry. It's been talked about a lot. I want to put this front and center because this was actually the first fragrance that I thought of when I saw that comment. So I wanted to give it credit where credit was due. This is the first thing that popped into my mind, and I feel like that's pretty significant. It's got fruity notes, woody notes, black currant, so it's basically sweet, fruity woods, and it smells just to die for. I've been a big fan of this one for so long. It was my first ever niche fragrance. This is the actual bottle right here. As you can see, it's seen better days. I have a full backup bottle, of course, but I love it so much. It's great. And this one popped off because it gets compared to Creed Aventus. I really don't think so. I think they're quite a bit different, so don't go into this one thinking you're going to get a Creed Aventus style scent. There are bits and pieces of slight similarities, but I do think it's a bit of a stretch. This one's much sweeter. It's more sweet, fruity overall, and just a different thing altogether. But it does work really, really nice for summer evenings. It is so fun to wear in summer evenings. I love it, and it would be great for a date night. One thing I will caution you with, though, is that this is very strong. Like, you don't need to go with a lot of sprays at all for a date night application. I'm talking one or two. Maybe even do one of those sprays underneath your t-shirt or whatever to help muffle it, because it's a beast mode scent. Now in normal wearing conditions, you could go with maybe a couple extra and people are going to be smelling you from all over the place. It's strong stuff, even the newer batches. Great performer. It's affordable as well. MANCERA CEDRAT, amazing date night fragrance for the warm weather. And from here on out, we're going to pick up the pace and go with Valentino UOMO, and this is just the original. Hazelnut, coffee, chocolate, and leather are some of the main notes. If that note breakdown doesn't make you want to get all up in this, I don't know what will, because it does for me. So from that note breakdown, it sounds very, very sweet and very heavy, right? But when you actually smell this one, it does have that kind of fresh modern pop. So there is balance here. It's not too over the board or too over the top sweet. It has kind of a nice mixture here. So you get the leather. It's a fresher leather, not too daring. You get bits and pieces of this kind of nuttiness from the hazelnut, the coffee, a little bit of a chocolatey gourmand aspect. Smells amazing, very alluring, and very sexy for date nights. And it's fresher than Valentino UOMO Intense, which would probably be my pick in the wintertime. But because we're talking warm weather, spring, summer, for a date night, I would go this instead. Next up, we have LALIQUE White and Black. So this is a newer addition to my collection. It is also, from what I understand, a limited edition. So they're not going to put this one out forever, basically, is what I'm trying to say. And because it's currently available at a great price, it will be the third link down below. I would recommend you get this. And the reason why I say that is because this smells very, very similar to Parfums de Marly Layton. I almost put Layton in here, but I wanted to try to keep it relatively on the affordable side. We only have one niche fragrance in this video, so wanted to try to keep it that way. And so I'm like, well, I can put LALIQUE White and Black, and it gets you very close to Layton at an absolute fraction of the price. I love it. It smells great. It's undeniably Layton. It's powdery, sweet, appley, sexy, a little bit spicy up top from the cinnamon note. It's that DNA done very, very well. Shockingly close, especially for the price point. And Layton for me is a very special scent. I love it. And even though it is on the sweeter side, it's still one that I like to wear in the summer in the evenings, date nights, just an evening out, going to a dinner, whatever. That sweetness actually opens up a little bit more. The whole scent develops more in the summer air in the evenings, and it is gorgeous stuff. If you haven't worn latent or a latent smelling scent in a summer evening, I encourage you to do so, and you'll probably thank me later for that one. Next up, Acqua di Gio Profumo. Look, I know this is another one where I'm like, okay, I already know people are going to be rolling their eyes with this one because it's talked about a lot. But I felt I would be doing this one a disservice if I didn't put it in here. And the reason why is because if you go all the way back on my channel to the very beginning where I was talking about this one, how did I describe it? Pop quiz. Some of you will know this, right? Pause it, put it down below. I know some of you will. But for those who don't, I've described this one as smelling like a summer night on the beach ever since I first got it. And you can look at my review of this one years ago, all the top 10s where I talked about this one. Smells like a summer night on the beach. And guess what? I still think that. If you are on a date in the summer evening with someone that is special to you, wear Acqua di Gio Profumo and you're going to make the memories of your lifetime. It's amazing. Smoky but aquatic, a little bit mysterious. It's masculine. It's one of my top choices. Next up, 1 Million Lucky by PACO RABANNE. So what's so weird about this one is you take a look at the note breakdown, hazelnut, plum, ozonic notes, honey, tonka bean, all of that stuff. It sounds very, very sweet, but there is a shocking amount of a fresh balance with this one. Like, seriously, it shocked me big time when I first smelled this one because I was expecting something more, should I say, PACO RABANNE style, you know, incredibly sweet and strong in that way. But there is some kind of black and white to this one. You know, there's a little bit of contrast, which I think makes this one a really nice choice. Over the years, I've come around to it more. I appreciate it a lot more now than I did in the beginning, and that's kind of opposite for some people, right? Some people would grow out of this one. I've kind of grown into it. I'm like, you know what? Maybe I was too harsh on it in the beginning. Now, I respect it for what it does. It has this ozonic quality, freshness, but then the sweetness from the hazelnut and the honey, that sort of thing. A little bit of a fruitiness, of course, from the plum. It's very fun and very playful. Playful is the name of the game with 1 Million Lucky. And if maybe you're on a first date, you don't want to go too sweet and too daring, and you just kind of want to just have a fun, playful first date, maybe, you know, be able to get a second one afterwards, 1 Million Lucky is a nice place to start. So I messed up big time. There is actually 2 niche fragrances in this video. However, this one is basically, from what I see, almost always at a designer price point, kind of like the MANCERA actually, so don't get too mad at me. But it's Remarkable People by ELDO. This one has champagne, grapefruit, and sandalwood. I've been a fan of this one for a long, long time. Big, big fan. Love it. Creamy sandalwood, nice grapefruit and champagne opening. Let's go and give it a go. It's been a while since I've smelled the opening. Yep, that's special. That's what this one is all about. That grapefruit champagne, nice bright sparkle pop. You know, it has a creaminess and a little bit of a sweet depth in the base from that sandalwood. But it's so unique, and this is what niche perfumery is all about. And what's nice about this one is, as I mentioned already, very rarely actually at a niche price. Here's a funny story. I actually got this bottle, which is a tester, by the way. Try to find where it says tester. It says it right down here at the bottom. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it. Let's get in real close and personal here. Hi, how you doing? Hello, Internet. Tester right there. I got this on Fragrance Net for $60. Yeah, not right now. It's probably not in stock right now. This was a while ago. 100 ml bottle of a niche fragrance, $60. Tester with cap. I'm telling you guys, this brand, they oftentimes do pop up for a very good price. Same with MANCERA. There's a point where you could get these sometimes for testers for about $60. It's not a common thing, but always watch my community tab because I post about this stuff. But it happens. So, and even when it's not at that price, you're still looking at maybe $80, $90. That's designer price. I mean, you're in this territory here. So, great fragrance, something unique. You're not going to smell like anyone else. Great for summer evenings. Up next, we have another kind of, I don't know, a little bit of a eye roller for some people, but for me is a fragrance that I still love so much. It's from a popular fragrance line, It is the newest from the line, but it came out a few years back at this point. We haven't had anything new from this line or this house in several years. It's Bleu de Chanel Parfum. Lemon zest, sandalwood, lavender, and amberwood are a few of the main notes. Absolutely adore this stuff. It's one that I wear often, along with the EDP. You know, this one and the EDP are my two most worn Bleu de Chanels. On a hot summer day, I'll go for the EDT if I'm in the mood for it. But, you know, what I love so much about the Parfum in comparison to the other two is it's a little bit more rich, has a little bit more depth going on. I like the lemon zest mixing with the sandalwood, gives it a little bit more of a creaminess. Still has that Bleu de Chanel DNA, but it's a little bit more mature. And I don't want to say more modernized because the whole DNA across the board is modern, but it's more mature and it's more, I guess, kind of refreshed. It's updated in a way. Again, not that it needed updating, the whole DNA, it's still timeless, always will be, but it was just a newer take, a refreshing take on this DNA, and I love everything about it. Now, do keep in mind here that the Parfum will have a bit more of that richness, which is kind of what I'm looking for on a date night, but yet it still has that freshness for the summertime. I think this is a really nice pick. And I know people are going to say, oh, Bleu de Chanel on a date, are you kidding me? You're going to smell like every other dude. Okay, maybe you got me. Okay, let's go to Armani Code Eau de Parfum, yet another one that people are going to get up in arms about. Spend less time worrying about smelling like other guys because I guarantee most people aren't going to be able to notice, and spend more time caring about yourself, investing in your skincare, like Tease Hanley. This is not a sponsored video, but it could be because that's the stuff that's important. Getting online, going on forums, going on Fragrantica reviews and arguing with people about, oh, that smells like every other person, that doesn't help anything. Tonka bean, vanilla, lavender, and suede are a few of the main notes. This is another kind of refreshed, modernized take. The trend here within the past couple years, and seems to be ongoing, is making eau de parfums of popular fragrances that somehow haven't had an eau de parfum yet. So Armani Code, we had just recently Azzaro Chrome EDP. There was another one as well. Can't think of it off the top of my head, but it's been happening for sure. EDPs all over the place, even from big fragrance lines that somehow haven't had them yet. And this is one of them, but it's one that I really like. A little bit more of a vanillic take on the Code DNA, but Armani Code itself, that DNA, still has kind of a freshness to me, you know, fresh, clean smell. And this one tweaks it in a way where it gives it a little bit more sweetness. Smells fantastic for a date night out and for a warm spring, summertime date evening. This one here I think would be really attractive. I would like to wear this one in the summer evenings and see how it does because I think it would do really well. Second to last fragrance, we have PACO Rabanne Pure XS, just the original. This one has vanilla, liqueur, myrrh, and sugar as some of the main notes. So I messed up here a little bit. There's going to be 11 fragrances in this video. So there you go. Just wanted to throw that out there if you're a little bit thrown off. But Pure XS, okay? This one is a big, big love for me. Oh man, it's so nice. It's a little bit fizzy and fresh and sparkling, but it's also sweet. So it's got that sugar, liqueur mixture, mixing with some sweetness, mixing with a bit more of a freshness. So it's kind of boozy, you know, a little bit of a cola smell also, kind of that texture, and it smells great. This is unlike anything else PACO Rabanne has really put out. It's quite unique for what it is. And I think if you take away the PACO Rabanne name and the branding and you gave this to someone, I think smelling it blindly, a lot more people would like it and would be less likely to hate on it. A lot of people are going to be reluctant to try it just because it's a PACO Rabanne. But I encourage you, even though you may not have the best track record with the brand, you know, Invictus, 1 million, please try out this one in Pure XS Night. They're amazing. The original here is going to be more suited for a summer evening date night. Smells amazing. Super sexy stuff. YSL Parfum is going to be up next. Apple, sage, lavender, and tonka bean are some of the main notes. So it's that Y DNA, but richer and stronger. Still fresh and kind of bubblegummy, kind of blue in some ways, but, you know, it's more refined. If you were to compare this to the EDP, this is still going to be more mature, but do also remember that it still has that playful Y DNA. For me, this is a home run. I think this is incredible. Nowadays, I find myself kind of thinking about and reaching for and gravitating more towards the new Parfum just because it won me over. That added richness and that added refined depth Really makes me happy. It's one that I love to wear, and I can't wait to wear it this summer. I'll wear this one during the summer days. I don't care. Yeah, it's going to sweeten up a lot. I don't care. But summer evenings would probably be the best time for this one. You're going to smell absolutely amazing. It's going to be unfair. And last up, we have Guess Seduction Homme, or Guess Seductive Homme, I believe. This is the 11th fragrance that kind of got left out. I forgot about it, but I'm throwing it in anyway. Amber, pink pepper, orange, and orchid are some of the main notes. A little bit floral, a little bit ambery and sweet, a little bit spicy from the pink pepper. Nice atomizers on these, by the way. It's only about 20 bucks online. It smells nice, very nice stuff. You know, it's Guess Seductive Homme, the original, not a flanker here. This is where it all started. And this original fragrance, while it may be easy to sleep on, smells very nice. And it also has that mixture of a little bit of fresh over here, a little bit of sweet over here, some spicy over here, and even some florals. And it just kind of, it does it all, you know, and it smells great in like an evening environment and a kind of dimly lit setting, you know. It just has that kind of mood about it. Would be a great one for summer evening date nights. Alrighty guys, that's going to do it for me. That is 10 fragrances that would be great to wear on a warm weather date night scenario. There you guys go. Hopefully this helps some of you out if you're wanting the same thing. Remember, there will be links to all of these down below to discounters as well. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.